Welcome to Women Who Wow, where we shine a light on women redefining success on their own terms.
Hello. Nice to meet you. Good morning. Please come
This
in.
Women's Day, we step into the world of Vibha Tripathi, the mastermind behind the water tech revolution, Boon. Tripathi is a trailblazer who brought the concept of water ATMs to life with Swajal. Her mission? To quench the thirst of millions with pure, affordable drinking water in India's villages.
Welcome Vishika to our humble abode, and thank you that you like the idea.
How did the idea of Swajal come to you?
I was in IIT Kanpur, and Kanpur is very well known for having a poor quality water, and that's mostly because of the tanneries there. So water has been a very sensitive subject, very well frequently discussed subject there. So our first project which I took was a village in Kanpur in the district of Unnao, and we put up our first solar drinking water machine which is supplied to the whole village there.
Can you please tell us about yourself, your journey with Swajal?
So it was not my childhood dream, but I grew up in a small village, and my village is not very far away from IIT Kanpur. It's in district of Hardoi, very small village by name of Semaria. So my childhood dream actually was to bring electricity in that village, because we had never had electricity there. So I used to spend at least 2-3 months there, and I just to see my grandparents living without electricity was something which I always felt that we have to change it, and that was the reason why I started working with the solar. So I graduated in physics and started working in applied materials. So for several years, almost a decade, I was working and doing research in solar materials and electronic properties of solar. And in 2008 or 9, we wanted to actually start the ecosystem of solar. Me and my husband, who is also actually an expert in solar. And at that point, I thought that drinking water is a huge problem. And so from just bringing electricity, I thought that using solar to bring drinking water plus electricity in the villages. Normally where we put solar plant, we would also give a small amount of electricity to the village around. That's how it started actually.
What are the key innovations and technologies that you have been using since the beginning, and how it has evolved?
At that point there was, solar was also in infancy. Communication technologies, IoT, etc. were almost not there at that point. They were very infant. So we started with actually developing the control panel for IoT, etc. on our own. I was always very confident about the technology part, because I played with technology almost life practically in IIT. I think it was the business part which was more tricky to learn. So our first machines, it did not take us all that long to set it up and start making them functional.
So you are also a singer. You also know swimming. So what all hobbies are there that you just can't live without, or we don't know, apart from you being an engineer and an entrepreneur?
So first of all, I am not a singer. I would sing in a group. And swimming, of course, I have been doing it for childhood. I love playing tennis. I love running.
So you have also started doing marathon, you were just telling.
I think I am a wannabe marathon runner. Right now I do most 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers, smaller runs. Another hobby is of course plants. So we have almost 100 plus different type of plants across the house in different corners and spaces. Either whether it's plants or animals, if you give them love, you get it back.
As a woman entrepreneur, did you face any kind of challenges in this tech and startup kind of a landscape?
I think any entrepreneur faces a lot of challenges. Of course, there are few problems which are woman centric. Also, I chose a topic, social impact or impact based work, which itself was a big challenge. Everything kind of clashes a little bit, because in venture world, in startup world, people look for companies which grow very quickly. If they invest in you, they can actually reap the harvest quickly as possible, you know. Whereas in impact world, you cannot give that kind of speed. So there is a bit of clash there, and being a woman, other alternative is, you know, going to the banks for financing for the growth, and there actually you see the play that people tend to have more faith in men for financing. So there, of course, it comes into play that you are. So sometimes I would take my husband just to keep the banker happy.
A message or an advice for all the young women entrepreneurs who are willing to start their journey in this tech space of startups and living big dreams?
I always say this, that get as much education as you can. That means if you want to be an entrepreneur, then better to do an MBA. There are many aspects HR. So when you do an MBA, almost lot of them are covered. Of course, you don't realize the value of them until you actually start, but you must know your Excel sheets and accounting. That's, I think, a very must, apart from your tech part of it. And you should be willing to take the risk.
Thank you so much, and you'll keep learning a lot from you, from the work that you are doing.
Thank you so much. This is such a nice thought.